Take two. Alright. I've entitled this video Smacking Jezuzfreek Around with a Mirror because what my purpose is for this video is basically to show Jezuzfreek, if he even watches this video, the sort of hypocrisy that I've seen in his account or on his account for quite a while. When he moralizes about things like ever since he started moralizing about GTA 4, saying it was pure smut. Okay, I'm responding to. I'm putting this as a response to his atheism sucks video because in that at the start of that video he has the picture of the Sistine Chapel, I think it is, and God reaching out to touch Adam. That's a bit suspicious. No, but he censored it, right? He's put little black bits over Adam and one of the little cherub things' private parts. And he says it's not because he wants to, it's because other Christians will get grumpy by saying it's pornography. Now, that's just absurd. Those other Christians should go die in a hole. It's art. Harden the fuck up. But Jezuzfreek is succumbing to them, and he knows that they're wrong. He says he doesn't agree with them. But he never really sort of elucidates, I think that's the right word, elucidates why they're wrong. He never really demonstrates why they're wrong because he doesn't want to use sort of reason in it. And he has it on his account as well. He has a little quote that says, your opinions about which bands are evil are not necessary. And that was because a lot of people were critiquing his music taste. Like, he listens to Guns N' Roses. Good band, like them. But they represent sort of cheap hedonism and sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that sort of good stuff. And a lot of Christians don't agree with that sort of thing. And he doesn't like it when people judge his music tastes and judge from that whether or not he's a good person. And he doesn't like it when people say that artwork is pornography because he knows it's not. And see, if Jezuzfreek actually took the time to sort of elaborate why they're not, he'd start realizing the way we feel about video games and violent video games. Like, I imagine Jezuzfreek, you're sort of thinking to yourself when people critique your music, you're like, it's just music, it's just a band, like, they're not evil just because Axl Rose records the sound, the audio track to him having sex with someone and then puts it into one of their songs. That doesn't make them evil. It doesn't mean you're going to go to hell for listening to them because, it's not. It's just music, right? And you know that. And Jezuzfreek knows that. And the thing is that he never realizes that the same sort of logic applies for video games. And yeah, the reason people got annoyed at him saying GTA 4 is pure smut is because it's just a game. Just like Guns N' Roses and those sorts of bands and Motley Crue and all those things. Motley Crue with their titty cam at concerts, getting women to flash them and showing it up on big screens on stage. He knows that that's just music and it's not evil. And there's nothing evil about it and it doesn't have a corrupting influence. And yeah. But at the same time, he doesn't seem to recognize that GTA 4 is just a video game. And there have been lots of studies that suggest that maybe violent video games cause pro-social, like angry behavior. Angry behavior, not pro-social behavior. But there's also been lots of studies to suggest that like angry music can do the same thing. But that doesn't make them evil. It's just it's a personal choice. It's a freedom that we have to be able to play these sorts of games. So Jezuzfreek, if you watch this, I just want you to realize that the sort of moralizing you're getting and the sort of moralizing about good and bad and evil influences, that's the sort of thing that you've been doing for quite some time. And you need to realize that it is just your opinion, because the people who are criticizing your music taste, I bet they're citing chapter and verse from the Bible when they do so. You need to realize that the sort of critiques you're doling out about video games and the sort of critiques that are being doled out to you about music, they aren't based in scripture at all, because it's just they're just an influence, and it depends on how you take them on board. And you need to understand that it's just your opinion. So when you start moralizing, stop acting as if you've got God on your side, all right? There are certain issues where, yeah, you can quote the Bible, pretend you've got God on your side, whatever you want to do. But when you talk about these things, when it's just your opinion, pipe the hell down, because you are essentially just coming across as arrogant. You say that your opinions don't matter when you're talking to the other Christians. And that leads us to conclude that whose opinion does matter, Jezuzfreek? And of course, it's yours. Your opinion. Your opinion is the only one that matters to you on these issues, not God, because they're quoting the Bible at you. It's just your opinion that these bands aren't evil. And it's my opinion that those games aren't evil. And you need to recognize that if you want people to take your opinion seriously, you need to demonstrate the logic behind that opinion. And when you start demonstrating the logic behind your opinions about music and about artwork and about why they're not smut and why they're not pornography and why they're not corrupting influences when you're listening to them, then you'll start realizing the way we feel about games. It's just a violent video game. It doesn't, like, I've been playing them for years. I played them when I was a Catholic, and I've played them since when I was, since I became an atheist. And it hasn't done me any harm at all. I am yet to go out and reenact anything that I see in GTA 4. Except for no. Yeah, okay. And I have a brief question as well, just to tag onto the end of that little rant. In this video that I'm responding to, Atheism Sucks, you talk about how faith is the one attribute that gets people into heaven. Faith, the fact that Christians have faith and atheists don't, is the critical character difference between the two. And you, like Tooltime said in his response, you assert that faith is a virtue, which I would disagree with as well. But that's not the question I had. Basically, the system that the way that I take your video is that the system of getting into the pearly gates is something like a driving exam, at least the ones we have here in Australia. You have critical driving errors, which if you do anything of these wrong, like 7 deadly sins or something, no, not 7 deadly sins, but faith. If you don't have faith, that's a critical driving error, no heaven for you. And then you have like sins, because you talk about, yeah, you need faith, but then there's also judgment. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, faith is the critical driving errors, and then like there's non-critical driving errors. It's like, well, you had faith, but you did rape 20 women and children, so you can't come into heaven. And, oh, well, you had faith, but you only raped 2 women and children, and you said you were sorry, so, oh, that's okay then, you can come into heaven. Whereas an atheist who's led like a good life and worked for charity his whole life, oh, you don't have faith, oh, critical driving error, you can't come in, oh, rapist, in you go. Oh. That, like, I'm sure I'm misinterpreting something here, but like the faith thing plus judgment, that is actually what I'm taking it as. So just a text comment from someone, anyone, Jezuzfreek, just, I don't know, but like seriously, God cannot be running the same system as Queensland Transport, please. Just, yeah, okay, that's enough from me. I'm off to go get my provisional license at the pearly gates. Huh.